Zelda and Sonic's Day Out by Max Acorn. The first rays of morning peeked out through the bedroom window of one Princess Zelda of Hyrule and lightly kissed her regal face. Her eyelids scrunched up as the sun told her it was time to arise for the new day. Begrudgingly, her lids fluttered open, exposing her eyes to the new light. She hissed and groaned before she pulled her body up from the covers. Not a morning person, the princess groaned as she stretched her arms. As her body began to bit by bit wake up, her mind was slowly coming online and realizing where she was and what day it is. The place was the Smash Mansion, where she and many other colorful characters routinely fought in the Smash tournament for the pleasure of a mysterious entity known only as the Master Hand, and occasionally by his insane brother, Crazy Hand. She had been here for a few runs and made a close and unique circle of friends. The day, however, was something vastly more important. So much so that upon realizing what the day was, she instantly woke up, like someone injected her with a strong dose of caffeine directly into her bloodstream. Today was Wednesday. Specifically, it was her day off. Better still, she had plans today. Plans that included spending the day with a certain special someone who had become so close to her heart. A wide grin erupted on her face. She was waiting for this day all week, and now it was here. Zelda bounded out of her bed and tossed on her robe to cover her royal pink nightgown before exiting her room and into the bathroom across the hall. She looked at herself in the mirror, her face still a bit tired looking and her hair very much in need of a brush. But before she turned on the faucet to splash some water on her face. Reaching up into the cabinet, she retrieved her personal toothbrush and some toothpaste and began her usual morning routine. Afterwards, she was more than likely going to jump into the shower and prepare for the new day. She wanted to be all nice and clean for him when they met. "Morning, Princess." She instantly recognized the voice coming from the door. Samus Aran walked into the room clad in her skin-tight sleepwear. Her night attire wasn't meant to be anything revealing or sexy or alluring. It was just something she wore because it was comfortable and practical. She wasn't the type to tease men. She just didn't have the time for it. At least, not all the time, anyway. "Morning, Samus," she greeted. The bounty hunter walked by and grabbed a bottle of mouthwash. It was hers, of course, since it was so strong that none of the other women could handle it. Just perfect for Samus. "You seem in good spirits. Unusual for you." Zelda spat out a wad of paste. "What's so unusual about it? I just felt like getting up early." "Strange. So it has nothing to do with spending your day off with a certain someone?" I have no idea what you're talking about." "You may be a great ruler, Zelda, but you're a piss-poor liar." She took a small swig. "Never took you one for gossip, Samus." This is true. In the time she had come to know and befriend the space bounty hunter, she had come to learn that the woman wasn't like many women that she had known in her life as a royal. She wasn't backbiting, conniving, or one for spreading or listening to the off rumor. She was a straightforward and blunt person. She did everything with a sense of commitment and efficiency. She didn't have time for the pettiness that Zelda was so used to from the noble ladies of Hyrule back home. Maybe that's why they were such good friends. The blonde spat out the burning liquid before answering her. "Not gossip. Link just has loose lips around me." Zelda looked at her friend, shock evident in her face, and a tiny smug smile coming up. Already, the princess was thinking of various ways to punish the hero of time when she got the chance. She sighed in defeat. "Who else knows?" "Don't know," she answered. "Maybe Snake as well, but you know how he can keep a secret." "Well, that's good," Zelda replied. "The man can keep a secret." "True enough. He's certainly more respectable than most of the men in the mansion," added Samus. "So, you two gonna fuck?" Zelda nearly choked out on her toothbrush. Why does she always forget that part of Samus? This woman was blunt in nearly every aspect of her life. In fact, that's kind of how they became friends. After a major tournament, the bounty hunter, clad in her Zero suit, walked up to Zelda and started a conversation with her. Not 5 minutes into it, she outright asked, or rather crazy question, "Are you fucking Link?" The question was so insane and borderline rude that she didn't know whether she should be shocked, angry, or just laugh her ass off. The princess settled for laughing. Samus thought she was making fun of her, but Zelda quickly explained how absurd her question sounded to her. She eventually denied having a sexual relationship with Link, which was something the armored warrior was hoping for. Samus liked Link for a long time, even before Zelda joined the roster. When asked why she did, she merely replied that, quote, "he had a cute butt," unquote. Zelda knew it was more than that, since Samus wasn't that shallow of a person, or else she would have hooked up with Captain Falcon. Her guess? Maybe she was attracted by his courageous spirit and righteous ethics, a vast departure from the people she normally deals with. The princess didn't mind. They were a good match for each other, although they were very noisy at night because Samus's room was right next to hers. "No, we're just friends." "So? Friends can fuck." "It's not like that," she exclaimed. "I just enjoy his company." "Whatever you say. Just don't let Marth find out." She didn't need to tell her twice about that. There was no secret around the mansion that the swordsman had a thing for her and would go out of his way to show his admiration and devotion for her. The problem was that he was a prince. Zelda had seen it all before. Princes always acted the same around her and did all the same things to get her attention. It was flattering, but it just wasn't enough to keep her attention. He better not find out. I don't think he would approve. He's not going to find out from me. "So, you don't think it's weird?" "Zelda, I'm an intergalactic bounty hunter. I've traveled across the galaxy as my daily commute. I've seen more planets than I care to count, and I've seen so many different races and cultures that would make your head spin. If you and him want to do something, go for it. I've seen it all. As long as it makes you happy, I don't really care." Her friend's words caused the Hylian to cross the short gap between them and to give her a crushing hug. "Aw, Samus, you're the best friend I've ever had." "Fine, whatever, just get off me," she joked, pushing the girl off her. "Well, I better start getting ready. You staying in here long?" Samus shook her head. "Nah, gonna get a workout done and then jump in the shower. Although you better shower ASAP. Once Peach gets in here, it's not gonna be free for at least 2 hours." "Good point. I've gotta get my clothes together." "Oh, and if I don't see you later, have a good day out." Zelda gave her a soft smile before bouncing back to her room. Upon entering, she felt a sudden rush of air blow into the room, accompanied by a flash of blue. When it was over, her window was open, a few sneaker prints were on the floor, and a single pink rose was left on her nightstand. She softly fingered the petals before inhaling the sweet scent it exuded. He always did this in the mornings. He'd run the 30 miles east of the mansion, pick up a single pink rose from a small grotto, run back and place it next to her bed, normally before she even woke up. Her face went a light shade of crimson. Today was going to be a great day. "Ha!" Link yelled as his shirtless body slammed on the ground for the 12th time in the last 30 minutes. He already had bruises and welts in varying sizes, shapes, and colors all over his body. Getting his focus back in his eyes, he looked up to see his teacher, bandana flowing in the wind and just as shirtless as him. "Wanna go again?" Solid Snake asked in his usual low, gravelly voice. When the soldier asked Link if he wanted to join him for some morning exercises, he never imagined it'd be so painful and draining. He now understood why this guy was considered a legend back in his own world, but you never hear him say it. Snake was very grounded and low-key about his own status as a legendary soldier. He never bragged on himself, never asked for special treatment, or called himself a legend. He was simply a soldier. The hero of time shook his head. "Nah, 12 is my limit." "Good choice." Snake reached his extended hand. Link took it and pulled himself up. "You've got some good moves, kid. Decent enough for strength and reflexes, although your hand-to-hand skills need work." "I don't really see the need." Link took a drink of water from his jug. I have my sword and my gear. But what if you don't have your sword and your gear? What if you lose your sword or can't use all your gear that you have? Snake asked, motioning to the small pile of clothes and weapons near them. You have flexibility. You have to be flexible in this situation. Anything can happen to you on the battlefield, so you have to be ready for anything. It never hurts to be prepared. Point. But I wouldn't have lost if I had my sword. But you didn't, Snake said. And I was going easy on you. The astonishment was evident on the hero's face. You were holding back? Of course, the soldier answered. I could have killed you at least 27 times by now. Link knew the guy wasn't lying. If Solid Snake says he can kill you, best believe the man could end your life easily enough. So, you're going to spar with him now? Link motioned over to the only other person in the area. It was Ness, watching the spar and playing with his yo-yo. Nah, no need. His age and size notwithstanding, Ness was one of the strongest smashers in the entire mansion, and Snake knew it firsthand. He sparred with almost everyone on the entire roster and had a pretty good gauge of who was stronger or weaker than who. When it came to Ness, the kid wasn't all just psychic power. He was damn strong. His fighting style was simple but effective. With proper training, he could one day overwhelm the seasoned combat vet. You guys playing dirt in the dirt again? The two men turned to find the source of the voice, one Sonic the Hedgehog, looking at them with a toothy grin from outside of the dirt circle that they used as a ring. You could stand to use some training yourself, Blue Boy, Snake quipped. The Hedgehog merely waved him off. Training like that isn't my thing. Disregarding his tone, Snake did actually like and respect Sonic. In fact, the guy was probably the most likable person in the mansion. He just seemed to get along with everyone else. Even the King of Evil himself, Ganondorf, seemed to find his presence, in his own words, more tolerable than most. Besides, I don't got the time. I've got plans for my day off, Sonic spoke, motioning to the backpack strapped to his spiny backside. Finally gonna do something with Zelda, huh? If Sonic was drinking water, he would have spat it out upon hearing Snake's comment. Link, he growled. Hey, don't look at me. I didn't say anything to him, the hero of time defended, hands in front of him. The elf didn't tell me anything, informed Snake. You're just easy to read. I am not, assured Sonic, which was all the super soldier needed to go off on. You don't really plan for anything, Sonic. You just like to go with the flow. So it must be something special for you to do all this for. Your shoes have been shined up better than usual, and you rarely pack anything around outside what's already on your person. But you know what really gave you away? Do tell. Your smile. Link and Sonic looked at each other from the statement. My smile? He asked. No man smiles like that unless there's a woman involved, and seeing as how Zelda is the only woman you pal around with, it stands to reason it's her that you're spending the day with. Sometimes Sonic really hated how observant Snake could be when he puts his mind to something. His broody appearance and lone wolf personality belied his keen observational skills and high intellect. Sharing a look with Link, the Hedgehog saw no further reason to hide or lie to him. Fine, he stated. Me and Zelda are going to spend the day together. We've been planning this for a month. We even had to ask Master Hand for the day off, but it's not romantic or anything like that. We just wanted to spend some time away from everyone else. Link nodded. Well, I can understand that. Whether it's romantic or not, just make sure Marth doesn't find out. Sonic groaned at the mention of the prince's name. Don't remind me. The guy thinks he's being so sly about wanting to court her and makes it clear that she was off limits to anyone, as if he had the rights to her alone or something. Never cared for the guy, said Snake. I respect his combat skills, but honestly, I'd rather go head-to-head with Psycho Manus again than spend any real time with him. Don't really blame you, added Link. Marth's kind of a stick in the mud. His comment caused his two friends to let out a series of small chuckles. So, you guys really don't mind that she's spending her time with someone like me? The elf and the soldier traded bewildered looks with each other before Link spoke first. I've known Zelda a long time, longer than most people can imagine. Being both the monarch of a country and the bearer of one of the most powerful magical artifacts in the world is hard on her, harder than most people know. Sure, she can relax around me and a few others, but it doesn't go all the way. It doesn't really all go away. She never really lets herself go. Then you came along, and for the first time in a long time, she's happy and having fun. I really don't care who or what you are, Sonic. You make her feel happy. And that's enough for me. I agree with Elf Boy here, added Snake. Emotions are what guide and bind people together. It doesn't matter who we are, it's our feelings that unite us as living beings. Outward appearances are just that. It doesn't change what's going on the inside. Regardless of the type of feelings you two have for each other, they connect you and are worth exploring. If there's anyone in this mansion who deserves happiness, it's Zelda. If there's anyone in this mansion capable of giving her that happiness, it's you. Don't worry about the minor stuff. Just enjoy the moment. Wow. That was pretty deep, Snake. That first one was for free. Next time, you'll have to buy me beer. Sonic! Over here! The three pairs of eyes turned to the Hylian monarch standing on a nearby hill, dressed in her normal regal attire and carrying what looked like to be a picnic basket. She waved excitedly to the three men. Link waved back. Snake merely nodded his head, and Sonic flashed his famous grin. She must have seen it from that far away because she broke into a fit of giggles. Well, gentlemen, I'd love to chat with you some more, but I can't keep a beautiful young lady waiting. With that, the hedgehog sped away in a cloud of dust, leaving the two men alone to contemplate the events that took place. $10 says they had sex before the day is out, spoke Snake. Link looked at him incredulously. Snake! He exclaimed. It took Sonic only a few seconds to reach the princess, lapping around her figure and kicking up some dirt around her. Zelda laughed at his display of bravado towards her. He stopped right in front of her, bending over in a sort of bow. Your knight is here, my lady, he announced in the most noble kind of way possible. I bid thee welcome, Sir Hedgehog, she replied in kind. The exchange caused them both to cackle at each other. Neither were very formal around themselves, though this was just something they did as a sort of joke. Kept you waiting long? Asked Sonic. No, she answered. You never keep me waiting. Awesome! So, you got everything you need? He motioned to the basket. Yes, sir. A fun lunch for the both of us. Hope you have room for it all. For you, Zelda, I'd out-eat Kirby. His comment caused a light blush to rise on her face. Whether he noticed or not, she couldn't tell. So where are we going? There's a small lake about 50 miles that way, he explained. Nice and quiet with no one around for miles. 50 miles, she verbalized. I can't walk that far, Sonic. The hedgehog wagged his finger. Who said you'd be walking? Before she could inquire about what he meant, Zelda found herself off the ground and in his arms. She often forgot how strong Sonic was for someone his size. Better? He asked her, flashing his toothy grin that she adored. Much. Hold on tight. She wrapped her arms around his neck, the basket tucked safely in her lap. Feeling her tighten her grip on him, he sped off away from the mansion. This was the first time Sonic had ever carried her like this when he ran so far. So for Zelda, when she was opened up to a whole new level of reality. The world around her turned into a rush of color and shapes and sensations. Even as she could never have imagined she'd be moving at such speeds. She looked at Sonic's face, partly serious and partly mischievous, as he navigated the blur that was the world around them, leaping from branches and ledges with the nimble agility that she'd seen him use in many fights that she spectated. She felt her heart pump full of adrenaline. She wasn't running herself, but the rush and excitement of moving at breakneck speeds that she had found herself in no way capable of moving on her own. This was the world that Sonic the Hedgehog lived in, and she loved it. After a minute of running, they arrived at their destination, a wonderful crystal blue lake surrounded by lush green grass and a big leafy tree that they stopped under. Zelda marveled at the sight. She didn't care how he found it, she just loved that he found it. She could only find one word in her brilliant, educated mind to articulate her state and of emotions at the scene before her. Wow.